I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of and in memory of my friend Elliot Halio. And I know that we all have seen Elliot's name on pleadings and the signature, Elliot T. Halio. I called Andy today because I didn't know what Elliot T. Halio stood for. What did the T stand for, Andy? He said, damned if I know. Daddy said that was something he was going to take to the grave with him. Elliot died June the 20th of 2016 at the age of 86. He was born in New York City, I think Brooklyn, and his parents did all they could to send him to a prep school, a private prep school, for his formal education. He graduated thereafter from Syracuse University and was drafted in the United States Marine Corps, a fate that none of us would have looked forward to, I'm afraid. You could volunteer to be drafted. He was sent to Parris Island for basic training, and on one of those weekends while he was in basic training, came to Charleston and met a young lady, Mona Sokol, and married her. Thereafter, they moved to Durham, North Carolina, where he went to law school at Duke, and Francis worked as a teacher. He finished law school in 1957, moved to Charleston, where he became a member of the bar and practiced law here for almost 60 years. Elliot was also very active in the community. He loved people. He took some leading roles at the Dock Street Theater in Romeo and Juliet, The Taming of the Shrew, and Write Me a Murder. You know, I think we all heard when we were in law school that you need to learn something about acting, and it paid off for Elliot. He was president of Footlight Players from 78 to 80, and a longtime member, probably a founding member of Synagogue Emmanuel, which is how I first came to know him. Elliot, as y'all will all know, loves sports. During high school, he played basketball, and he became an avid fan of the Duke Blue Devils, unfortunately, rivals to my school, Chapel Hill. And I would hear from him, as I do from Andy today, whenever they whipped us bad, which is too often. He liked the Dodgers and would talk about them, too bad. And he coached youth baseball and basketball, both at the Jewish Community Center and St. Andrew's Playground. He loved golf and played often with his wife and his son and his buddies, one of whom turned out to be a crucial witness in what I was hoping was going to be a significant case. And you can imagine how that turned out. Elliot, more than anything except his family, loved being a lawyer. He came to Charleston, to the legal community, as a complete stranger, as some of you today do. I was looking at the list of people to be sworn in tonight, the 200 or 100. And when I came to the bar in 1973, there were only 200 members, 100 of whom were active. I've still got that list that Walker Evans and Cogswell used to print. Remember that? On one sheet. And you could see all the lawyers in town right there with their phone numbers. Still got it by my desk. That's how many people are going to become members tonight, over 100, right here, the whole back page. When Elliot came here, he started his law practice on his own and with no real contacts and no clients. While his skills would serve him well in connecting on a professional level in the community, he was determined to make the bar a welcoming place for other young lawyers who may not have had family connections to the bar. He started the Young Lawyers Club, and thereafter he served as a municipal court judge for the city of Charleston in 1963 and 67, through 67, during the civil rights era. His conduct and treatment of the folks who were arrested during protests was remarkably civil and fair, especially for those times. He served on the City Board of Adjustment. He was devoted to the success of the Charleston County Bar Association, served in the executive committee forever, even when I was president, and he served as president of the Charleston County Bar as well. He practiced with his son Andy for over 30 years. Elliot loved the courtroom and was a successful trial lawyer. I looked it up today, and there are 197 reported opinions with his name on them. He tried cases, and he even lost every once in a while, I think 2 that we could think of. So with 197 reported opinions and with the kind of malpractice cases he tried to have lost 2, and at the same time be as humble and not braggadocious, so to speak, was a true sign of a real person. I want to say a gentleman, but I don't want to offend any of the women in the audience by saying that. So that's the official Elliot. The Elliot I knew was a partner in all aspects of his life with his family. He was a man with a smile. He was a friend of the family, and often my father and uncle would go to lunch with Elliot and would invite me to come along after I first started practicing law. And we usually went to Andy's house over there on Meeting Street. Y'all remember that? Where they had the best char-grilled, George and I remember, George Martin, where they had the best char-grilled flounder in town. Anyone who watched Elliot and interacted with him would benefit and learn something. He was kind in his manner, and yet he would not give up until he was certain he had gotten all there was to get from a witness, and he would do so without alienating a jury. He loved to learn the medicine of the case he was defending and was a true believer that his doctor-client did the best that could be done under all of the circumstances. If a case should be tried, he was ready to try it. And he assured his clients, not by bragging about his one-loss record, but by his sharp intellect and great people skills, and then usually proceeded to cut the butt of the person who was on the other side of the case. Elliot will be missed by all. I can see him now, his distinctive walk, his green blazer, file in hand, headed to the courthouse. A great lawyer, a great person, a great model of civility and collegiality, and intellect used purposely and positively for the betterment of his family, of the bar, and of the community. Because he loved the Charleston County Bar so much, he left a very generous check, $2,000, to this organization. Andy, I promised you I wouldn't lose it, and I would bring it with me tonight, and here it is. So